While I love the Final Fantasy games and am pretty freaking excited for Final Fantasy Rebirth to release, there are a lot of worries surrounding this game. One's of censorship, and now we're finding out that the game might have taken away Cid's iconic cigarettes. I have a few different things to show off, but before we get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, follow me on social media, and consider supporting through Patreon or via YouTube memberships. Now, I wanted to start off with this article from The Gamer, one of the very few articles that they release every year that I actually think is half decent. The Game Awards gave us a bunch of exciting new reveals earlier this week, but it also gave us closer looks at some of the titles coming out within the next few months. I think the next half a year for gaming is going to be insane. There are so many exciting titles releasing, and yes, Final Fantasy VII Rebirth is one we have been waiting years for. I know a lot of people have been very impatient when it's come to its release. A lot of people are very excited now that we're finally getting closer, but one of these titles was Final Fantasy Rebirth, which got a new trailer, but there are a lot of questions now being raised because of it. Cid pretty much always had a cigarette in his mouth during Final Fantasy VII, adding to that gruff exterior that we all love. However, fans have noticed that Cid's appearance in the latest trailer, as well as every single bit of concept art and his character profile, don't feature a single cigarette. Now, obviously, if he, does not smoke in this game or does not smoke as much, that would only be one small change in the release, but my God, I can't keep track of all of the small changes that they've made between the first game and now this one, Rebirth, and it's terrible. Yeah, this might be a small change in the grand scheme of things, but this isn't even the first time they've made alterations hoping people wouldn't notice, and it's not okay. I know people will say, oh, if this happens, it's only one small issue, but if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile, and that's exactly how they've been acting over the years. If we don't call out situations like this, they are only going to get worse and worse, and now it seems that they are affecting Cid, because yes, not only have we not seen him smoking in any of the teasers and the trailers, but it's also the fact that the cigarettes are completely gone from his concept art. It says, first spotted by a Twitter user, the strife is rife, it appears as though Cid no longer has a packet of cigarettes in his goggles strap like in the original design. Again, as you can see right here, they are completely gone, nowhere to be found. It says that there isn't a cigarette in sight either in the two instances we see him in the new trailer, never mind the older teasers and trailers. It says, of course, granted, one of them is when he's piloting, but the other is a fairly mundane conversation with Aerith on a landing strip. Now, of course, over the past few years, we have seen many games remove things like tobacco use, the most notable being Gears of War. Gears 5 doesn't include smoking or tobacco use, and we basically found out that that is because Ferguson had stepped in and stopped it. He said that, the games would no longer feature smoking, and smoking would never return because it's a bad thing, because his dad had smoked and died of a heart attack at age 38. Now, of course, I'm sure that there are other underlying health issues here that we are not being, told about, but that is basically the reason why an entire franchise going forward is sanitized, like he's trying to be the moral police. And yes, obviously, things like smoking are bad, but smoking is inevitable. People smoke, and while yes, it's not good for you, adults are allowed to do what they want. This game, specifically Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, is rated T14, and it does list tobacco use, so it's not like they're removing it completely, but they're most likely significantly toning it down. It's like with Tifa. You can't get rid of her chest completely, but of course you can tone it down, and tone it down significantly enough that people do notice. Like, imagine if they took tobacco use out of the Yakuza games. I know they're rated M, but it's something that is kind of iconic, and with Final Fantasy, Cid smoking is iconic, and it's why people noticed his headpiece change right off the bat. It's why people have noticed that in the teasers and trailers he is not smoking. It is just another attempt at sanitizing content, which has happened many times over the years. Of course, the most notable, like I mentioned, is Tifa. Tifa's chest had to be toned down in the Final Fantasy VII Remake. The game's director had told the Japanese publication Famitsu that Tifa's chest in particular was a bit of an issue for the ethics department at Square Enix. I have talked about this ethics department many times on the channel. They have gone into Square Enix releases and completely sanitized them. And it's sad to see, because as an adult, I should be able to consume the content I want. I should be able to look at pretty women, and women with larger breasts exist in real life. We wanted Tifa to have abs, so she has an athletic body type. The ethics department told us that we had to tighten her chest as to not get unnatural during all the intense action. This is the big worry that I know we've all had with the upcoming Tomb Raider titles. Yes, we did have the previously released trilogy, but I think that going forward, now that Amazon Games is doing new Tomb Raider titles, this is the worry, right? Oh, she's a Tomb Raider. She's squeezing in tight little areas. She can't have a big chest. That's what Phoebe Waller-Bridge had said, and of course she is one of the leads when it comes to the live action series. So unfortunately, when it comes to, Final Fantasy, now we're being told that realism is at play, that because they wanted her to have abs, that also means that she can't have a larger chest, which is just so insulting to a large amount of women out there who do have fit body types but also have large chests. Like, oh no, you're not allowed to exist anymore. And it's just sad to see this happen, because of course Tifa's look is iconic, and things like Cid smoking are extremely iconic. Again, this might seem like a small issue, that, oh, the smoking is toned down and it's pulled back a little bit, and I know that people will say it's only one small change and one worry, but it's not that simple with them. If you call what I am doing nitpicking, what do you call change after change after change? It's only got one name, and that's censorship. They are toning down tons of content when it comes to these releases, and it's pretty sad to see. And yes, I will sit here and continuously call them out, because I want them to do better. I don't want small things like Cid smoking to be removed from a game. I don't want them to remove the iconic cigarette pack from his goggles. All of these things do add up, and over the years, yes, we have seen several different issues when it comes to, the original Final Fantasy remake, and now we're going into Rebirth, and it seems like they're pulling the same shenanigans. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you enjoyed this and of course found it important and informative, make sure to give it a like, share it, and subscribe to the channel. And of course, if you didn't, make sure to give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I will talk to you all again in the next video really soon.